Friends, welcome back to Drawing Conversation, where I am your dedicated nerd host and artist, Danny Fisher. And today we're drawing the origin and history of Optimus Prime. Let's roll out. So before we get in, I just want to thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for watching these videos. And if you are a returning subscriber, well, you get a double ration of love. So yes, friends, today it is all about Optimus Prime. And let me tell you, this was one of the greatest cartoons growing up. I mean, you couldn't be in the 80s, be a kid, and not love the Transformers. Well, as it so happens, I nerded out my son really well, and Eli, thank you so much for the tremendous help on this episode. Now keep in mind, because Transformers has been around so long, there has been so many retellings, reimaginings, and tons of retroactive continuity changes that just makes it impossible to give just a single origins. But for this episode, I chose to stick with my favorite, Transformers the First Generation, or simply known as Transformers G1. So now, Transformers was created by Japanese company Takara and Hasbro. And the two companies set out to find the next big thing to take over the toy market. And what they created were the Transformers. Now, the Transformers originally broadcasted in 1984. The official story of the Transformers begins millions of years ago, far, far beyond the stars, on a glittering planet known as Cybertron. There, life existed in the form of intelligent, sentient creatures, better known as Transformers. And as the name implies, Transformers can, well, transform from a humanoid-type robot into a vehicle or a weapon, or sometimes even animals. But wait, we're getting ahead of ourselves. These intelligent robots eventually split into two different groups. One side known as the Autobots, and the direct opposition known as the Decepticons. Now, the Decepticons were driven by one goal, and the goal was nothing less than total domination of Cybertron. And to achieve this goal, they are constantly attacking their more level-headed and peaceful Autobots. Now, the war between good and evil raged across the planet, devastating everything in the process, and soon started depleting the resources of the once bountiful Cybertron, to the point where Cybertron is near unrecognizable of its former self. Towards the end of the war, Autobots live a hand-to-mouth existence, only managing to cobble enough resources together to live another day. Exhausted, war-weary, and out of options, the only route left was to escape Cybertron. And so they did. The Autobots built what was known as the Ark and fled the planet. Well, this did not go unnoticed, and obviously their adversaries, the Decepticons, gave chase. And soon, a deep space battle ensued, with the Decepticons actually boarding the Autobots' ship and duking it out in glorious melee. Well, this battle was so intense, it forced both ships to go off course and crash land on the planet Earth. Now, this crash landing was so intense that both Autobots and Decepticons were damaged almost to the point of death, that they all slipped into a type of a coma. And they stayed in this torpor state for millions of years. Well, 4 million years to be exact, when suddenly a volcanic eruption causes the main computer on board to reboot, and it sends out a single drone to repair the still unconscious Autobots and Decepticons. Now, what's crazy is it gives them new forms to transform into, based on the existing vehicles and machines across the globe. So they can transform now into jets, cars, animals, weapons, heck, even dinosaurs. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. Sadly, the spark of war begins anew, in a distant land and on this strange planet. And this conflict is the major focus for the rest of the cartoon, stretching across 4 seasons and a full featured film. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't believe this series would have been as good without having the beloved Optimus Prime, voiced by the amazing Peter Cullen. I mean, his voice carries just that rich, deep sound of leadership. But Optimus Prime wasn't always this fantastic. In fact, Optimus Prime had an original form known as Orion Pax. Orion Pax was very unassuming and really nowhere near as strong or powerful as what he would turn into. Orion Pax was simply a dock worker at a storage yard. His job was simply unloading and storing shipments all day long. Well, Orion started noticing a new form of robots showing up. Robots that could fly, and this kind of made him kind of idolize those Transformers. And one day while working on the dock, none other than Megatron, later to be Optimus Prime's arch enemy, shows up. Now, Orion Pax doesn't know exactly what's going on and ends up showing him around. Well, Megatron is secretly trying to figure out a way to steal all the resources stored in the warehouse, and in the process ends up shooting Orion Pax to the point of, well, near death. Orion Pax is then taken to the current leader of the Autobots, an Autobot by the name of Alpha Trion. Now, Alpha Trion is the last of the old Primes, and the title of Prime is kind of a moniker or a name passed down from leader to leader of the Autobots. Now, Alpha Trion decides he's going to try to save Orion's life. You see, Alpha Trion had developed a way of regenerating and rebuilding Autobots, but it was still a new process. He was really kind of reluctant to do so, but the process is a success, and Orion Pax is reborn into Optimus Prime. With this new battle-hardened body and more powerful presence, Optimus Prime is later then given the Matrix of Leadership. Now, the Matrix of Leadership has been passed down from one generation of Prime to the next. And with this Matrix of Leadership, the holder is given all the experience, knowledge, wisdom, and power of the Primes who have come before. And yes, this is how Optimus Prime was created. Now, of course, we have to talk a little bit about powers and abilities. His greatest ability would have to be that of his leadership. I mean, just being able to decisively see a combat situation, he knows exactly where to station and deploy his resources. But he is also an incredibly skilled warrior and proficient in virtually all forms of hand-to-hand combat. He has, of course, the Matrix of Leadership. It not only gives him incredible knowledge, wisdom, increased strength, resilience, but it also allows him regeneration. Yes, the Matrix of Leadership gives him an advanced regeneration ability to heal from the most severe injuries. He's also capable of flight and enhanced speed, communication, and empathy. Optimus Prime actually has kind of a psychic link he can establish with other Autobots, as well as humans from time to time. Yeah, this gives him a real deep understanding of any situation or emotions that individual is having. And of course, his transformation ability. Now keep in mind, when he transforms into the most amazing semi-truck. But the best part is that the trailer, well, it's not just there for looks. That trailer can transform into a command center. It actually has 2 additional components. So stay with me here, because it's kind of hard to get your head around. But that trailer can launch a wheeled modular drone known as Roller. And then, with the remaining trailer being the command deck, the deck can hold additional weapons, such as his famous battle axe or his enormous cannon blaster. But the command deck also scanning the entire area, while the small drone is constantly going out and surveilling, offering kind of a reconnaissance, if you will. Now, what's great is Optimus has a psychic link to both. So if one's hurt, the other 3 can feel it. And I really wish they would have put more focus on this, because it's such an amazing power. What's cool is that he can also combine with his trailer and drone and form an even more powerful battle-hardened super mode. Moreover than that, he can combine with up to 5 different Autobots, and sometimes takes on the name of Ultra Prime or Optimus Maximus. Yes, just get your head around how powerful he becomes. With all these powers and abilities, Optimus Prime has gone down as the absolute best leader of the Transformers. His wisdom, decisiveness, and steadfast bravery in the face of any adversity is really what's made Optimus Prime so iconic. And of course, let's not forget the amazing voice acting. Thanks again, Peter Cullen. With all that being said, it is so easy to see why Optimus Prime was beloved by so many, and certainly was by me. Friends, thank you again for watching. Your support truly helps this channel. So now I've got a bit of a favor to ask. You see, these episodes take anywhere from 30 to 40 hours to make. So if you or someone you know is a subject matter expert on comics, sci-fi, fantasy, please go to the comment section, leave a comment, and then come onto the channel. Let's have a conversation. See what I did there? So until next time, thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.